As you can imagine, I am in no position to buy a football club. But what if I was? What would I do with that football club? And maybe even what football club would I buy? I mostly got the video idea from this book, Soccernomics, which pretty much talks about the economics of football. And I was thinking, what would I kind of do to try and help my football club make a profit and also become the best club in the world? Let's take my club, Manchester United, as an example for kind of what we want to do in our new role. As you probably know by now, Manchester United has been taken over partially by Sir Jim Ratcliffe because mainly the Glazers were under incredible scrutiny. Even though Manchester United are still one of the most profitable clubs in the world, with £154.9 million of profit in fiscal 2023. So why are we so terrible? We're in seventh place in the Prem at the moment. Other than lots of weird financial things that the Glazers have done, one of the main reasons is recruitment. Now, let's skip over the players that we signed this season because I guess the jury's still out on them. But let's take a look about some of the players who have been signed recently. For instance, Anthony. Anthony, we spent a ridiculous amount of money on him, like 85 million or something stupid like that, and his market value, it's 35 million, which obviously isn't great. He's been in the starting 11 52% of the time, and well, the stats speak for themselves. And probably one of the worst things this season is that some of the best players have actually been youth players. Players like, where is he? Kobe Mainu, whose market value should probably be higher than that, and Alejandro Garnacho. So I guess when it comes to recruitment, you want to be more like Brighton than you do Manchester United, which I think was a bit obvious. We didn't need 2 minutes of a video to explain about this. So we want to sign young players and sell them for a profit, and then maybe get more experienced players in, maybe players in their mid-20s who can propel you to that next level right away while still developing the next lot of young players. Okay, so to demonstrate just how easy this whole Brighton style recruitment thing is, I'm going to create a spine of a team. I know that says because it's flipped, but it's going to go up there for the rest of eternity. And essentially, I'm going to pick some brilliant youngsters off of the interweb in the centre back, midfielder, and striker position. No goalkeeper because. So let's get started. Okay then, now for the midfielder position, I've probably gone for the highest profile player on this list, and that is Fabio Moretti, the 20-year-old Italian who plays for Juventus, and this has definitely been his breakout season. He's got 15 appearances in Serie A, which is very good for Juventus, of course. He has been in the starting 11 almost half the time, which is pretty good, which is why his stats probably aren't amazing. And in the Italian Cup, he's got 2 appearances, 1 goal, and 1 assist, which is obviously really, really good. So he does mainly play as a central midfielder, or he can go up the pitch a little bit, and he has pretty much been at Juventus his whole life. And I think that is one of the things that I like about him. He's kind of just he's been there for this whole career, and I think he could get a move to get some good football. And I just think that a club should think about signing him in the future. Next up, we have Hakon Arnar Haraldson, who's already picked up a couple of trophies, a couple of Danish championships, which is a bit of a spoiler. He is worth 8 million euros, so quite a bit, and plays for Lille. And one of the cool things is that he's actually Icelandic and has played for the Iceland national team. Now, I've put him on this list because he can play striker, so he's he's part of the spine of the team, okay? He's just part of the spine of the team. Now, his League One statistics, they don't look brilliant, but he's only been in the starting 11 22% of the time, so we can't really say that he's been terrible because he's not really started. And in the Conference League, it's a similar story. He has actually had two proper starts with one assist, which is pretty good, 10% goal participation. But I think, and in the qualifiers, kind of the same story. But in the Coupe de France, he has been having a wonderful time of it. 2 appearances, 3 goals, and 2 assists. So 5 total goal contributions, which I mean, that's pretty good for a 20-year-old Icelandic winger. I think that this guy could be something special, and one of the great things is that we've only really scratched the surface of players here, because we've only really gone from players who have already made moves to bigger leagues, and I think that this young guy could go on to be one of the best players in the world, maybe the Icelandic Haaland. So I think a team in the Premier League should pick him up. For the final portion of this video, I want to talk about Crystal Palace. They're a club who have been in the Prem for 11 years, a long old time, and they're a club who used to be playing in League One, but now they've got a 26,000-seater stadium, and they're comfortable in the Premier League. I don't think anyone ever thinks they're going to get relegated. They're pretty much guaranteed to finish 15th to 11th, 10th every single season, but they've never been able to break into those European spots. So let's take a look at their recent transfer history and try and think what they can do to improve. First of all, they brought in Dean Henderson, a goalkeeper, for 17.5 million euros. It says his market value is only 12, but I think that this is a good signing. A young goalkeeper, and he's pretty solid too. Rob Holding, however, maybe not the best signing. 1.2 million. It's pretty cheap, so I'll let it slide. And he's not going to be a starting centre back for them anyways. But when you do have, a 23-year-old who you might want to develop more. But then they also brought in Jefferson Lerma, who in my opinion, I mean, he's a decent player, but do you really need to sign him? For how much did they spend? Free. Okay. Well, Mateus Franca was, I think, their big money signing. Yeah, 20 million euros, who I really like. I thought that that's a brilliant signing, but they've hardly used him. Literally, they have hardly played him, and that is such a shame because he could turn out to be the next Michael Olise or Eberechi Eze, along with Jesurun Saki. So their transfer window has been pretty stagnant, and that is mainly because they just don't have the funds. Which, in my opinion, this is going to be very, very controversial, and that is that they should sell either Eze or Elise, maybe even both. Probably Elise because he'd garner more funds, but I know that people don't like that, but that's what I think they should do. Hear me. I reckon that selling Elise could get them 60 to 65 million euros. Let's just say 65 so that I have more money to spend. Obviously, they would need a direct replacement for him, and I think that Thiago Almada would be a good choice. He is a Argentinian winger who plays for Atlanta United in the MLS. He would probably cost them around 30 million euros, and he's just 22 and an absolutely phenomenal talent. And then they could even spend the rest on maybe bringing back Conor Gallagher, which is something that Chelsea might be open to for around 30 million. And then who knows, you might be able to dip into the free agents market and pick up Jesse Lingard, who I think would be a pretty good signing for Crystal Palace. So there we have it. From just one sale, you have three players who could probably help to elevate that club in Thiago Almada, Conor Gallagher, and Jesse Lingard, who is free and might not play. But I think that those are some decent signings for Crystal Palace. Quick interlude. Why don't you give me some video ideas down in the comments below? And anyways, I want to keep on making more videos like this one, so please subscribe down below so I could maybe reach 100 subscribers. I don't know how many views this is going to get, probably just 2, but hey, every view helps. So thank you very much for watching to the end, and goodbye.